Ellis, Mowers, and more. On today's video, we've got this Craftsman DYS4500 that's got a running issue, as well as, from what I understand, it will drive for about 20 minutes or so, and then it'll just start losing steam. So I'm thinking that we've got to do a transmission oil change on it. Hopefully the transmission itself is not worn out too bad on the inside. But we got a belt for it as well. We'll put a transmission belt on it while we've got it here also. We're going to get the running issue sorted out first, then we'll move on to the transmission after that. Let's go ahead and get started. So this has got the 24 horsepower intake on it. It surges really bad when you run it, so I'll show you real quick. Gas looks kind of low in it, so I'm going to put a little bit of gas in it. But what I'm also going to do, we've got a Granddaddy Long Legs running there by the air filter cover, is, oh, we've got plenty of gas in this. But right off the bat, when it's doing it right off the bat like that, it's generally not a fuel filter issue. Fuel filters will arise if there's not enough fuel that gets pumped in. So what we're going to do is I'll take off this right here, and we're going to try the quick clean here first. Hopefully that's going to do it. If not, we'll pull the carb off. But we got to take off the engine cover in order to do that. These are all set up a little bit differently. But this is the older style here. It's got the air filter like this, which it could use one. I'll just knock it out for the time being. He just kind of wants to make sure that I get it right before, or get it running and cutting right before anything else. So we gotta run this one a little bit after we do it. But to get this off, 4 5/16 right here. You got various 3/8 on the sides here. You've got a quarter or another 5/16 in the front here. And then we'll just pull everything up. The good news about this is that fuel pump is not on this. So I'll rip this off, and then we'll get in here and see if we can do a quickie clean on the carb on this V-twin to get it to run better. Okay, so what we've got here is the cover off, and what I do sometimes, and sometimes it works, because I just did it on a Craftsman Zero Turn with a Briggs V-twin not too long ago, is pull these 3 screws off. What this does is it allows you to access, and if you're lucky, this comes off in one piece, that gasket. You're able to access the 2 jets right here. Now a lot of times what happens is these 2 jets are what clog up, and sometimes they're really small on the top side. Sometimes what you can do, and we're going to try it here today, hopefully it'll work, is get in here with a good can of carb spray and just go to town for a few seconds. So make sure you got eye protection and stuff as we do this here. Now sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. It just kind of depends on the day a lot of times. Depends on what's junking up the carb. So Like I said, I've done quite a few Briggs engines like this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But those are your two jets that pick up the gas to send it to the carb. So they like to get clogged up if you're not careful. So you have to, be careful with them. And spray a little bit down there. I'll put this cover back on. Try it out. See if it runs better. Hopefully it will. Alright, I got the screws back on. I did thread these bolts in right here a little bit so that they're not just kind of sitting here, because a lot of times they like to work their way out. So this will run a little bit rich to start. We'll see where it evens out if it does work. So let's that's actually, I'm very surprised. Like I said, just shove that carb spray in there, let it eat for about 5 seconds or so. That seems to have done what we needed it to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the engine cover back on. And might drive around for a minute just to make sure. I already had to put a little bit of ATF in the tire here. So, left front was going low. The rest of them are fine. So, hopefully, all I got to do is change the oil out in the transmission. And what I need to do after that is just run it and cut the grass and cut the yard here, really. Cut for like 40 minutes or so. It takes about, usually with a riding mower this size, I can usually get it done in about 45. So I'll cut the whole yard with it after we do that. See if we're going to be in good shape or not. But, yeah, the good news is some of these machines, you can just pop the engine cover back on pretty easily. Briggs put provisions at the bottom, you can just slide it off instead of having to take all the bolts completely off. But the contrary to that is, whenever you're working on it, running it without the cover, like testing out like I just did, sometimes those bolts will rattle themselves out and go somewhere where you'll never find them again. So I'll put everything back together, run it for a minute, see what it's like, and then we'll continue on with getting this transmission out so that we can change out the fluid. So you may be wondering, why in the world have you got to take the entire transmission out to change the fluid in it? Well, number one, we got a gas tank in the way on this one, so there's no way to really get in there. Number two, this is a they call them, I guess, non-serviceable transaxle. So there's a provision down there for a drain plug, but they didn't put one in. This is this a K46 Tuff Torq? Tuff Torq TA6. It's a 40. It's a Tuff Torq 40 something series, and they're all the same, where they have a fill plug at the top and no drain plug. So I'll double check to make sure that this one's got what I'm familiar with. Yeah, it does. So it's got that right there. You can see it. but I don't have a way to drain out the fluid. So reason why I'm doing this, I did this on a, oh boy, what was it, a John Deere LA155 or something like that, with the big tractor tires and the 54-inch mower deck. So a lot of weight for it to pull around. It hit about 400 hours and it started getting a little lazy, especially when hot. I changed out the fluid, drove it up and down hills multiple times, got it real hot, and it stayed pulling, which was good. And they're still using it to this day, so I'm hoping that this will do the same thing. What we've got to do is jack up we got to get the tires off so that we can get the transmission off. And then what I also want to do is get the transmission belt off. The best way for me to go about that is to actually take the mower deck off so that I can access underneath the machine, get that belt off. I've got to change, or I'm going to change the belt out on it anyways to help. But what this one is doing is whenever you're running it, you'll mat it, and it takes a second for it to go. So, like I said, it may just be some old oil in there. Could be a belt. But with what he is describing, I think that both of them, I think the transmission's more than just the belt. To get the mower deck off on this, clip in the front, you've got a clip underneath here, right there, one on the side. You've got your clip for your blade engagement cable, which is right here, and you have the same thing on the other side, except for the cable. So I'm going to get all this off. Pull the mower deck off. All you have to do is take the belt off of these front two guides here and get it out from around the front pulley, which is pretty easy to do on these Craftsmans. So easy, I could do it with one hand. Just like that. Get them clips off, we'll drag the deck out, and then we'll move forward with getting the drive belt loose, which we may be able to just do that with the park brake on this, and then get this transmission out. Alright, mower deck is off. I pushed the park brake down and got the transmission drive belt off of the rear pulley. I just took it off of the two main pulleys here, or two idler pulleys here in the middle. One thing I've already worked on is the brake rod. It was just a cotter pin. I pulled that off and it goes into the spring, which we can take the spring and elevate it now and pull it off. It goes in from the bottom side. Don't forget to put that back on so that you have a brake whenever you finish this. On the other end over there, there's a little clip. I can't show it to y'all very well at all with the tire on, but there's a clip on the left side here where the hydrostatic, the pedals link up with the transmission. So that is right back there, kind of in the middle of your screen, maybe a little difficult to see. I got to pull that off. You can pull the lever off there. Where are we? Right there. You'll see it. It's connected to the end of this rod. Looks like it's just a clip, and we'll pull that off, and then the transmission will essentially be free from the machine. And what we can do then is pull off the transmission, which should just be 6 bolts, it looks like. So we'll work on that, and we'll do that here next. Alright, so wheels and tires are off. Again, it's just a clip and some washers. Just make sure that the way that they're on there, different on different machines, that the way that they're on there is the way that you put them back on there. So if you have any trouble getting them off the shafts, a lot of times spraying a little bit of WD-40 inside the wheel after you take the E-clip and the washer off there gets you where you need to. So the bolts I'm going to attempt to take off to get this thing off are going to be these two, and then the other two on that side, and then the number 5 is going to be right there. I'm going to try and send the whole bracket off here, as opposed to taking them off down there at the bottom and keeping the bracket on the machine. So we'll see if that works out well for us. We'll see. But 6 bolts should be all it is between me and getting this thing off now. So I'm going to take it off, and once I get to that point, I'll show you how I remove them. So I removed those 6 bolts, and hopefully this goes as well as I want it to. No promises here. A lot of times what I do is I just lift the mower up and over. So let's see. See if we can get it over here. Oh. This isn't going to be as graceful as I thought it was going to be. Oh, I got some wires, a sensor I need to take off here. That's my problem. And then don't forget the piece that goes here for the disengagement of the transmission. Gotta be careful with that as well. It's a reverse safety switch attached to the. I think we're good now. Let's see. I don't think there's anything holding it back. Like I said, not very graceful, but I think this is going to work. And there we go. Oh. Alright, so that's it. Probably give this thing a good brush off, a good blow off as well while we're here. But what I'm going to do first is get all this old fluid out. So get this here. And then I'm just going to do this right here. Pull that out. Pull this off. And this is just a little plug here, so you should just be able to get a screwdriver. Pull it out. That's gonna do that to me. Anyways, I don't even know if you are seeing that, but I'm gonna get this plug off right here, right there. That way I can drain off all the fluid and stuff that's out of it. I've got Castrol Edge 5W50, which is what saved the other transmission that I fixed last year. We'll put that in there, and hopefully we'll have us a good machine again after that. So we got it drained out now. Here's what it's looking like. Man, it doesn't look bad. We'll just let it do its thing here. And drain out. I don't see where it's leaking or anything either, so hopefully, like I said, it's just a issue with drainage, or with with age and hours and stuff. So hopefully we're good here with that. Pull that out so that it'll drain properly. It's a couple of quarts, and it feels pretty thin for the oil that's used in it. I do know that this is one of the earlier iterations that they put in machines. I do know that they switched to 5W50 later on down the line from another Tuff Torq specific type fluid. So I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it as well. But yeah, we'll make sure we get all this out here. We'll put new fluid in after it drains out. I'm going to clean my garage up a little bit while it drains out. And then it'll be time to put it in. Alright guys, so I've washed off the top of this thing. So it should run cooler as well without all that dirt and stuff on it. I already have filled it up. I filled it up. It took just over 2 quarts of that 5W50, and should work just fine. This is the 46BT, so this is kind of like the prerequisite or a variation of the K46 that you find in most of these. But I'm going to put it back in. We'll see what it takes to get back in. Hopefully it won't be too bad. And we'll get this thing back going again very shortly. Looks like the biggest thing is just trying to get this rod in to the hole that it needs to go into as we're getting the transmission in. So as long as we can do that, we'll be good. And hopefully this, this will allow this mower to, combined with the new belt, run a lot better and for however long you want to run it, as opposed to it starting to die out after a few minutes. So it's raining outside, so I'm going to wait till it finishes raining to take it and do it for a proper drive. But I do want to show you get up and go to it now, which is great. So very happy to see that. Again, you just have to reconnect your brake spring here, which is right there with the cotter pin, and then on the other side you just have to connect your rod here, and this rod has got to go through this frame piece right there. So what I did is I put the transmission on and put the 4 bolts in the back, removed this frame piece right here, or this brace in the front, and then stuck the rod through. It was pretty easy to do. I can't remember if I showed it to y'all or not. I've had a lot of moving parts this morning. But so I just jacked it up, let the jack stand on this, and then took a floor jack and just jacked it into place. Put the 4 bolts in, lined everything up. It's actually one of the easier ones that I've done. Just make sure everything's nice and balanced on it. You should be good to go. And yeah, so I think that's it. I'm going to throw the mower deck back on, which is just those 5 mounting points and the engagement cable. Wait for it to quit raining, and I'm going to go out and, it may be wet as everything, but I'm going to go out and cut some grass, and that way if this thing's done, I can call this guy and say, hey, it's done, come pick it up. So we'll see. I'll get the mower deck on. Really, the surgeon came back, so I got to do a full clean on this carb. Not that big of a deal, but wish that would have done. I've tried it twice and it just didn't quite want to work, unfortunately. That's alright though. I've already taken the choke linkage off. This was a T20, taking the fuel line off. What I've got to do next is I've got to get the intake bolts off here, which are usually 3/8. Just be careful not to strip them. And I'm going to get these 4 bolts off. Usually I can get off every one of them except for the top one here, I believe. On this side, so the left side of the engine. I can usually get them off by themselves with this impact. And I need an extension for that one. Then this last bolt here, I'll get a ratcheting wrench maybe? Sometimes I can feed that down there. No, I'm going to do the regular wrench here, no biggie. And then the pickup on this transmission is a decent bit better now also. I drove around a little bit finally after it stopped raining. Hopefully I can get out and try it out tomorrow. Take this off. Well, it should be good. Oh, okay, we're really good. Then all you gotta do is generally taking the throttle linkage off right here is the best way to go about it. Raise it up, pull it out, you're good to go. And then we're gonna turn it over, let it empty itself out, and hopefully we'll be able to open it up, clean it for real, because whatever's in there keeps getting clogged in there. So, and then we'll put it all back together, and hopefully it'll run good after that. And then all we gotta do is wait to test it out. So I pulled the carb off. That's again just 2 screws for the bowl, pin for the needle in the seat. Pulled that out. It's sitting over here in the float, and then 2 screws to hold on this piece that houses the jet. Now, those look good. I think our hang-up, and because you can see a little bit of debris and residue right here, I think our hang-up is just that we got a little bit of this junk hanging out, and we need to get rid of it. So, with this seal here, I don't really want to pull that off, and I don't really want to expose it to carb spray. So I've got a little WD-40 just to push it in here. Kind of whisk it away a little bit. That seems to be doing a decent job for what it is. And then also, don't forget, the 3 screws on the other side that I've taken off already, take those off as well, because we're going to shoot some stuff up, shoot some carb spray and stuff up through here to get all that clean. I'm going to get all this junk and stuff out of this carb bowl here, especially on the bottom part here. And we'll get this cleaned out. We'll also get this cleaned out as well. Down here on the bottom you can see just a little bit of junk, and that junk is what's getting sucked up into that carb and causing those issues. So I'm going to get this nice and clean. We'll put it back together, and hopefully we're done with all the issues with the running with this. Alright, so you can see by the wet grass and stuff that I did finish the yard, and it's still pulling nice and strong, which is good. That's good. The carb clean is holding up well as well, so that'll be very nice. And I think we're done with this. All I gotta do is clean it back up before I return it to the customer. We've had a ton of rain over here the past few days, and literally, if you don't get out and cut your grass before noon, it seems like you get hit with a shower or a storm. So I didn't really have much of a choice. This needs to get back to the customer. I want to get it out of here anyways. So based on what he described, what I have done has helped it, because I cut maybe, it takes me about 40 minutes or so usually to cut everything, and I made sure to go up hills, get everything nice and hot. Of course, running at full throttle is what you need to do whenever you're cutting for maximum cooling for both the engine and the transmission. So I did that, and everything seems to be fine on it, so that's very good. And hopefully we've given this mower a little bit more life. I ended up putting some new blades on it. I wish I had the drive belt. It's got a little bit of fraying and stuff on it, but nothing really to amount to anything, and it still pulls very well. I figured that if the drive belt was getting stretched on it, that it would show itself. So in theory, the transmission is what ended up being the issue. Again, it probably has some hours on it. The hour meter says 800, but I think that the switch got left on at some point. There's no way that this mower's got 800 hours on it and it looks this good. Especially the mow index for this year. This year span rot out like crazy. That's why I got to clean everything back off, so it doesn't do that. This mower was very clean when it came in, and so I'll give it a good wash and we'll be done with it. But hopefully this video helped y'all out as how to change the transmission fluid in one of these. It's a little bit of a bummer how you got to do it, but pulling it isn't terrible. You got what, 6 bolts and a couple linkages and it's out, so it could be worse. But it's back going again, and the customer will be happy with the repair. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, and we'll have more small engine repairs coming up here on the channel, and I hope y'all join me for those then. Thanks again, y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.